Welcome to the exciting part 2 of the July Q&A that's taking place in August. Let's get into the questions. All right, next question. What is up with your brain tumor? So, for those of you who do not know, I do have a brain tumor, and I've had a brain tumor for, they don't really know how long I've had it. I have a microadenoma on my pituitary gland, so that means that it is non-cancerous, which is a really, really good thing, obviously. I've known about it for probably close to 10 years now, I would say. It messes with my endocrine system really bad. It messes with my eyesight a little bit, and it messes with my sleep really bad. It's just something I have to deal with. Take medication, take sleep medication, do what I gotta do, get around it as best I can. But as far as bad things go, this is about as good as it gets. When someone hears brain tumor, they think you're going to die, and that's not necessarily the case. When I tell people I've broken my back twice, people are like, how do you walk? Aren't you supposed to be paralyzed? That's not really how things go. Those are like worst case scenarios. So, like I said, as far as bad things go, it is a really, really good situation. And if anything else, it just has helped me focus on what is important in life. And when someone calls you and tells you that you have a brain tumor, you make some decisions. You have to. And so I've acted accordingly. And it's not a big deal. It is not big enough for them to take out currently because the risk of them taking it out is higher than the benefit of it being gone. So right now I'm on medication for different things that it affects, and it is what it is. But yeah, my endocrine system is jacked from it. My eyesight gets a little funky, and then you guys know how well I sleep. I literally don't sleep. So yeah, it's not a huge deal. So thank you very much for asking, but please don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it. Thank you very much. All right, next up comes from Josen Hockensmith. He said, Brian, if for some reason you would not be able to lift, would you still be just passionate about continuing to train and push others to their lifting goals? So I would say lifting goals, yes. More importantly, lifetime goals. I mean, I would definitely help people continue to reach their lifting goals. However, for me, the training is nothing more than a vehicle to get people to a decision. So what I feel like I am best at is creating programs and creating stuff that leads people right up to a fork in the road where either they're going to persevere or they're going to quit. Now, the people who persevere can really get through absolutely anything that you throw at them because they have mentally gotten over a hump that the people who will quit have not. In order to do that, if you continually do that in a person and they continually start making those right decisions and they don't quit, they persevere, they persevere, they persevere, no matter what you throw at them, they persevere. That training, the physical training, just takes them to a spot where you guys have all been there, where you are so physically exhausted in the middle of a conditioning session or something where you mentally break, you emotionally break, you no longer want to go and you quit. You roll over, you show your belly, you say, I would rather be dead than continue pushing. The more often that you can get somebody to get to that point and decide not to quit, but decide to overcome and prove to themselves that they can do a little bit more than they ever thought possible. They can take one more step when they did not believe that any more steps were in their body. Once you can do that, then something changes mentally. And that mental change is really why I try to make these videos. I try to train people at my gym. It's the reason why I train myself. It has never been about the weights. It's always about becoming better, about constant and never-ending improvement. So the more often that that person keeps making that correct decision and persevering, getting better, and just continually making the correct decisions in their life, well, that starts bleeding over into other areas of life. So then when they're at work, rather than kind of taking a halfway road, they are 100% in and they get more work done. They are a better employee. They decide to be nicer to people because they understand that everyone is in different stages of their journey. And when people are in different stages of their journey, all that you can do is kind of accept them and try to help them along to try to get them towards the next step. That's all I'm trying to do. That's all that I'm trying to get the people that I train to do. So yes, I absolutely would continue to do the physical training. However, realize that it is not about bigger biceps for me or anyone I train. It is always about becoming a better person. And all that the lifting is a vehicle to help me get to those emotional and spiritual and just completely brain-breaking moments where you can't get there any other time in your life, and you can literally create those opportunities multiple times a week through the lifting. So that's why I love it so much. This is about changing lives. It's not about getting bigger biceps, but I thank you so much for your question, man, and I hope that answers it. All right, next question. Daniel John 2027 asked, what is my favorite food? Now, this is probably the hardest question that I've gotten so far because I can't tell you. Number one, I really, really, really love caramel popcorn. Yeah, but I don't know that I consider it food. I would consider pizza, burritos, and cheeseburgers food. However, that's like choosing between like your kids or your parents or your loved ones, which one's got to die. I don't know. That is too hard of a question, but it's definitely either pizza, burritos, cheeseburgers, or some sort of junk food. I couldn't tell you. But currently right now, like at this exact moment, breakfast burrito. It's morning. Thank you for asking. And our next question comes from Dave, and he says, thoughts on mixed grip deadlifts? I only use mixed grips on deadlifts on your tops, heaviest set, but I never switch. I always use left hand supinated, right hand prone. Will this leave me with some sort of imbalance when I start getting into the 500 and 600 pound range? Here's the thing, man. What I would encourage you that you do is, number one, start taking some videos of your deadlifts from a couple different angles. Because the problem when people supinate is that some people do not engage their lats. And if you do not engage your lats, when you're picking the bar up, you are going to corkscrew. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you probably have not seen yourself do it. But everyone has done it. When you go to pick the bar up, sometimes that bar just starts rotating on you. Typically, your supinated hand starts floating out, and the only reason why is because it's easier to engage your lat when your hand is pronated than it is when it's supinated. So what I encourage that people do is take some video and really see what is going wrong, because if there is nothing going wrong, then you're not going to get an imbalance from using one hand under supinated all the time. You think about baseball players. A baseball player swings from the right side of the plate every single day for 20 years. They're not suddenly completely imbalanced on the other side. There are certain things that you do that make things technically correct to make the imbalances not happen. Imbalances typically happen is if you're doing something completely wrong, or something is shut down, or there is some nerve damage and you're not getting all the muscle recruitment and things like that. But even if you do have muscle imbalances, who cares? No one cares, honestly. Unless you're going to step up on a bodybuilding stage, then you're definitely going to care. But I don't plan on ever being a bodybuilder, and my left leg is so substantially smaller than my right leg, it's not even funny. And the reason why is because when I was 17, 18, I completely destroyed my knee. Like, completely destroyed my knee. Shattered my patella tendon, or shattered my patella, tore my patella tendon, dislocated my knee. I tore my MCL, my PCL, my LCL, my patella tendon. My leg was completely destroyed, and I ended up getting 3 different surgeries on that, and my leg was in a cast from the ankle to my groin for about 9 months, and I was on crutches, didn't use it. So, man, that was a hard time. But right after that, I got back into lifting, and my leg has never completely caught up. Not that I care. I wear all these scars on my face, my muscle imbalances, my broken bones, my scars. All of this I wear with pride. It means that I have lived a life worth living. If I looked as pretty as possible and didn't have gray hairs and scars on my face and cuts on my eyes and have all these broken bones and my legs being different size and stuff like that, I probably would say that I lived a little too sterile. I am all about going flat out. You only get one shot this life, and if you don't go flat out, you are not going to get a second shot to live who you are right now. So I figure, who cares if I'm a little more ugly? Who cares if I age a little sooner? Who cares whatever happens? It's all about this experience in life. And me personally, I would rather have one trap 3 times the size of the other trap and be deadlifting 900 pounds than be deadlifting 500 pounds and be perfectly symmetrical. But that is personally me. I don't care too much about aesthetics. I respect it. I think it's amazing. Obviously, I like to look better than worse. However, muscle imbalances, honestly, man, it's really not as important as people make it out to be, unless it's so bad that you are going to get some sort of injury, which I really don't understand. That is more for like antagonistic muscle group and main mover, as opposed to one muscle group being much bigger or smaller than the other, because it doesn't get much more imbalanced than my left leg and my right leg, and I haven't had any problems at all. So I would encourage you to try to bring up your weak points, but mainly engage your lats in your deadlift so that you do not corkscrew. If you're corkscrewing, you gotta fix it. But don't worry too much about muscle imbalances, man. A true life lived is not gonna look perfect. But I hope that answers your question, man. Thank you very much for asking it. All right, next question comes from Andrew not gonna try your last name. Andrew. We'll go with Andrew. And you want to know, Brian, do you prefer training clients and improving lives or competing in strongman competitions more? Hands down, no doubt, I enjoy training clients. I love to see other people improve their lives and do things that they never thought were possible. That gets me so excited. When people hit PRs and it's a big PR for them, I get just excited as that person, and I get way more excited about seeing people do stuff like that than I do about my own PRs. My own PRs, I mean, they matter. I love getting them, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't matter nearly as much at this stage as it does when I get to see somebody else do what they do, and just the look on someone's face when they complete something that they thought they would never ever be able to do in their entire lives, that gets me pumped up, that gets me going. As far as competition goes, I actually do not like competing at all. I hate competing. I'm telling you, the only reason why I compete is because it is a way to get myself uncomfortable in a pretty comfortable life. I'll be honest with you. Just about everyone, if you're watching this, you live a pretty comfortable life. You have the internet, right? So in a pretty comfortable life, the only way that I can really challenge myself on a regular basis, physically as well as mentally and emotionally, is by doing competitions. But the competition itself, I absolutely hate. I hate cutting the weight. I hate the nerves that come beforehand. I hate the anxiety. I hate standing in line and waiting for like 8 hours to compete literally for a total of like 3 minutes. That drives me absolutely insane. I hate lines. I hate waiting. If I am ready to do something, I'm going to try to get it done, and I will relax once it's done. I do not like taking my time throughout things. I really, really like competing when the judge says, competitor ready, go. From that moment, when they say go, it's like an unleashed animal. I get to do exactly what I've been preparing so long to do, and I get unleashed, but then 60 seconds later, it's all over, and then I sit around and I wait for an hour and a half to 3 hours to 5 hours, and then I get to go again for another 60 seconds or 30 seconds, and then I have to do that again and do that again. So personally, I hate that. I despise that. But it does make me a better person because it offers opportunities, like I mentioned earlier, about running into a decision where you're either going to persevere or you're going to quit. You're going to rally. You're going to find that energy. You're going to find stuff when it's really not there. Or you're going to acquiesce and you are going to become one of those dead souls that never really push themselves. So if I had the choice, I would never compete again. Absolutely. I would never compete again, but it is still valuable to me in some way, so I need to keep it in my life. But to be honest with you, titles don't mean anything to me. Trophies don't mean anything to me. I know I am probably never going to be good enough to get my pro card. I know that I'm probably never going to be good enough to win a national championship. What I am able to do is push myself to a point where I just become better. It sticks me in an uncomfortable zone, and that makes me a better person overall, mentally, physical, spiritual, all of that. So that is why I do it. I thank you very much for asking, but hands down, there is no question I like training other people. I like to see them achieve great things. And again, just achieve the impossible. When people achieve the impossible, it blows my mind. Makes me the happiest person in the world. Thank you very much for your question, man. I hope that answers it. All right, Randy Gentry asks, what YouTubers would you like to collaborate with? What is your wish list? So, if we're being completely honest, I don't watch a lot of YouTube, truth. I watch it when I have time. Unfortunately, time is not a commodity that I have a lot of right now, so I honestly don't spend a whole lot of time doing it. And I've already done collaborations with a lot of the people that I'm interested in doing collaborations with, like Alan Thrall, Mark Bell, Omar. I'm getting ready to go down and visit Juju Mafu, which is going to be a great time. But after that, I mean, there are tons of people in the fitness world that I would love to collaborate with, but they don't really have the same values as I do. They're not really strength guys, or they care more about their life vlogging or what their new car is or what watch they have on and stuff like that. That's not me. Those aren't people that I ever hang out with in real life. I care about really genuine people, and those are people that I've done collaborations with and I'm interested in doing collaborations with. I absolutely love the idea of meeting new people, and I'm sure there are a million different fitness YouTube people out there that I've never met that would fit perfectly with my channel, but I just haven't seen their stuff because I don't spend a lot of time looking at it, because I don't have the time to spend a lot of time on YouTube other than literally uploading and then responding to comments. That's pretty much all I do there. I will be turning on a lot of people's videos like Alan Thrall or Omar or somebody, Juji, if I'm getting ready for something, like when I'm getting ready to leave for the gym, I'll be having that playing in the background and just checking it out, seeing what everyone else is up to. But I don't really have the time to really do that. So I wouldn't say that I have a wish list. I am super happy to be collaborating with the people that I already have. And I do plan on doing a kind of tour coming up, hopefully sometime this year. Probably similar to the time when I'm going down to visit Juju Mafu. I will visit him and then I'll jump on a plane and probably head over to the West Coast, where I will hopefully hook back up with Alan and Mark Bell and that entire crew. I'd like to hook up with Silent Mike again, see how he's doing. Just whoever would be interested, if you are interested and you're watching this and you want to do a collaboration, hit me up, email me. You can find that in the description down below. But hit me up, email me, and we'll see if we can work something out. But I am planning on doing kind of a tour where I just jump around and I meet a bunch of people, because if I'm going to spend the money, I don't have the money to spend being a startup gym owner on a whole lot of collaboration. So I was going to try to knock out a bunch all at once. So if you do want to do a collaboration with me, please reach out. We'll see if we can set it up. But thank you so much for the question, man. I really do appreciate it. All right, our next question comes from Tanner Plord, and he said, you mentioned writing a book in the future. What will your book be about? Basically life and lifting. The same that my channel is about, same that all my posts are about. Everything that I do is always about using lifting as a vehicle to become a better individual, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, because if you can do that, you can literally write your ticket in this life. No one can stop the person who knows where they're going. So it's gonna be a lot of that stuff, as far as the philosophy of my lifting methods, why I do what I do, why I program the way I program, and then of course there will be a program included in the book. I'm not going to release what the name is going to be yet, but it is appropriate for what the program will entail. So it's going to be some philosophy stuff as well as all my training mentality for this particular program. So hopefully I'll be releasing a couple books in the future, but I need to get one out of the way just to see how tough the publishing process is and how hard the writing is. I think it's a really hard thing to say that I'm going to write a book, because I think there's a lot of people who believe they can write a book, myself being one of them, until they actually sit down and start trying it, and then they realize that books might be a little bit harder to write than we thought. So it's going to be a very humbling and interesting experience, and I'm sure I'll be talking about it as I'm doing it here on the videos. But I just want to put out a little bit of something like what my mind thinks and what I truly get out of this lifting game, and hopefully be able to help some younger people coming up to not waste so much time in the gym and in their lives, and to not make the same mistakes I did, as well as some training information and a program. So that's pretty much what the book will be about. Have not started writing it, although I should. I am a terrible, terrible person, but I got a lot going on right now. So as soon as it gets started, I will be letting you guys know. But I thank you very much for the question. I am very excited about that project. I hope that answers your question. All right, next question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Family, business, and as a competitor? 5 years, that will put me at 42 years old, so I'm guessing if I am still competing, it will only be for fun and my own entertainment. I will probably not be able to be competitive anymore at that age. Then again, maybe I will. I have absolutely no idea. As far as competition goes, I may be completely retired from competition, or maybe I'm trying to become the national champion and the masters category. I have absolutely no idea. As far as family, that's kind of a tough one. I really don't know. Time will tell. That I hope we get a puppy soon. I like puppies. Puppies are cool. As far as business goes, I am hoping that it will be much more successful than it is now, but I also hope to get some sponsors through other things, through these videos, so that it can take some of the financial responsibility off the gym, so that I can stay my passion and not become work. So we'll see what happens there. If you're looking for someone to sponsor people, yeah, you should come talk to me. But I would like to be financially set and either have a very, very successful gym, or have the gym of failed by 5 years from now and me moved on to something that I am very, very happy with. But time will tell. When you're a small business owner, there is no stability. There is no guaranteed paycheck. There is no tomorrow. You have to literally create everything that you do. And that's all I'm trying to do right now. So 5 years seems so far away. I know where I would like to be financially and as a competitor and as a family, but what really happens without the guarantee of a paycheck coming in every week or every 2 weeks or every month or whatever, it is what I make it. And for me, it's not who's gonna let me, it's who's gonna stop me. So, and it's gonna take a lot to stop me. So we'll see where I am in 5 years, but hopefully happy, successful, and with a puppy. Thank you very much for asking. And by far the most asked question was about drinking. People want to know what I think about drinking. And here is the deal. In my experience, most of the time when people ask a question like this, they've already made up their mind what they're going to do, and they're just looking for someone to tell them that that's okay, that their decision is okay. I am not going to do that. I'm not going to tell you that drinking is a good thing. I'm not going to tell you that you should or should not do it. That is a personal choice and it's up to you. What I can say is that drinking lowers your testosterone, your natural testosterone. It screws with your sleep, it screws with your recovery, and it usually messes up your training. And most people do not make the best food or life choices when on alcohol. I can personally say that pretty much the biggest regrets of my life have alcohol-related stuff involved in them. So I personally choose not to. I'm not saying that you need to swear off completely. I drink every once in a while, and when I do, it is not very much at all. And it's more of a celebration or a calming down or a just whatever situation might be. I don't really get drunk very often at all because it messes with my goals, and it's not so much about I think it's good or bad morally or whatever. That really doesn't matter to me that much. What matters to me is that it messes up my motivation for the next day. I could feel completely fine, but my motivation is not there if I spent the last 12 hours, you know, imbibing in whatever. So I choose not to partake because my life is just too busy and I'm too driven by goals to allow something like that sidetrack me. It's just not worth it. I wasted a lot of my life as a younger man doing that. And if I wouldn't have done that, I would be literally light years beyond where I am now. But I didn't. I chose to take that road when I was a younger man, and literally it's the biggest regret I have. So if I give you one piece of advice, I'd say don't get involved. Don't get involved with it because it takes over a lot of people's lives. And for me personally, like I said, it gets in the way of my goals. And if something gets in my way of my goals, I'm not too interested in it. I really weigh whether it is worth it to me to either be successful or have fun all the time. And for me, it's all about being successful. So, yeah, I don't really do it too much at all. What you choose to do is up to you. But remember that it does lower your test levels. It messes up your sleep, your recovery, and you make poor choices, both in food and in life. So I think if you want to be a super successful person, sparingly is completely fine. If you don't care, then don't care. You know what I mean? But thank you very much for asking. So many of you asked this question. What you guys choose to do with your life is completely up to you, but this is what happened to me. But I don't really have an opinion whether other people should or should not. That's completely a personal choice. I know what I choose and what I don't choose. So thank you very much for asking. I hope that answers your question. All right, guys, so there you go. Thank you so much to each and every single one of you who asked the question. If you guys do have more questions for me, just go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. I keep an entire database. If I did not get to your question, trust me, I probably still have it. But if you want to re-ask it, just throw it in the comment section down below. Also, down in the description, we still have spots open for both seminars that are coming up on September 2nd and September 16th. Both in Pennsylvania, just different parts of the state. So if you guys are interested in that, go to the description down below, sign yourself up, and I will be seeing you in just a couple weeks. But until I catch up with you guys later this week, go out and do something amazing with your lives. Keep working hard, people. Be nice to each other. Seriously, be nice to each other. And I'll see you then.